don't normally do this because it kind of comes across cheesy to me, but I really want to thank you guys for tuning into the show. Because we all know that you would rather be playing Baldur's Gate 3 right now.
As far as the world can tell.
And you set aside your time and you tuned into the WAN show instead of playing Baldur's Gate 3 right now.
Or its second monitor.
What percentage of you guys are playing it on a second monitor right now? Can we get a poll going?
We can. I will do that.
Because I assume that we're the primary monitor. Is that a fair assumption? Should those be the options for the poll?
Primary
Baldur's
monitor,
Gate
secondary monitor, not playing?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
I mean, you could have an option for Baldur's Gate is on their only monitor, but that really raises a lot of questions about how exactly they're responding to the poll.
Through their phone? Oh. Yeah, through their phone.
I mean, that is technically an option.
Primary monitor, secondary monitor / phone?
Yeah.
I
believe in you. You got this. He's working on it. The WAN show is already a catastrophe this week, and we are like 3 minutes in. I absolutely love this. We were talking about it on the pre-show, and I was like, "Oh, this is a really good conversation. We should like have this be a topic."
Okay.
And then,
we got to pull.
And then Luke and Dan completely shut down and stopped talking about it, and I'm sitting here going, "Okay, great."
No. Okay, I got some stuff. The third gate of Baldur has, at one point in time today, gotten over 520,000 concurrent players, which I find interesting.
That is fantastic.
Because it was midday on a Friday.
No kidding. Yeah.
What's going on?
How is everybody playing this game?
That's the 11th highest concurrent player count in Steam history, and it was during the work day for North America.
Okay, but here's the thing, Luke. You know how we always take Mondays instead of Fridays for stats. Oh. Have you ever gone to Costco on one of your like days off that is not actually a stat? Like on a Monday
it's like
that's not a stat?
Still full.
And it's full of people.
It's very confusing.
I don't understand it. I'm walking around, I'm going, don't you people all have jobs?
Like it's
I mean, I know I'm here.
I do understand there's like non-standard shift workers, night shift workers, or on-call workers, stuff like that. But I would always expect the population to be lower in areas like that, but it never really seems to be true.
No, it's popping.
It's interesting.
Like you go in on like a Wednesday morning. It's like everybody's at Costco. That explains why there's no traffic. Because everybody's at Costco right now, filling up their gigantic parking lot, eating all of their delicious samples.
Yeah. Okay, back to Baldur's Gate, though. According to this poll, 17% of people watching on Floatplane right now are playing Baldur's Gate either on their primary monitor or their secondary monitor.
That is wild. Have you played it yet?
No, I've had no time. My labs people, who some of them are actually watching the show live right now, have been here all week. So, no. I've had no time.
Right, but it came out today midday anyway, so what difference does that make?
I thought it came out yesterday. I don't know.
Well, today is Friday. And you said it came out midday on a Friday.
Well, I knew the concurrent player, maybe it came out at midnight or something. I knew the concurrent players count was today.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't say it came out today.
Have you played the series?
The series, yes, for sure. But the last release of Baldur's Gate was a very long time ago.
Oh, I know, because Baldur's Gate 2...
we're talking like Xbox Original or something.
Baldur's Gate 2... Didn't Baldur's Gate 2 come out before Neverwinter Nights 2? Or was Neverwinter Nights 2 first?
I'm looking at Baldur's Gate 2 right now.
I remember being in high school and buying Neverwinter Nights 2.
Baldur's Gate 2, one of the expansions for it came out in 2000. Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition came out in 2013.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's not an expansion. That's just the title of it. Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Ammon came out in, 2000.
Okay, Neverwinter Nights 2 actually came out after I was in high school. So this would have been once I was into PC gaming. Baldur's Gate 2 then came out before I was into PC gaming.
Yeah. I definitely played a bunch of Baldur's Gate stuff, but like this was...
You were a child.
Old games, and I was a child.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta confess, while I did manage to make a little, Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights reference during the pre-show, I did not make it very far in Neverwinter Nights 2. I managed to get a couple hours in. It's heavy.
I was a fan of... I played Neverwinter Nights 1 a lot, actually. But I mean, I didn't really make it that far. I had more fun just like messing around in the game because they're very just interesting games. Like I remember figuring out in the original Neverwinter's Night that you could dupe gear.
Okay, sure.
Because you could export and import characters. So you'd have one game file and you'd import a character, drop all their gear, delete them, import the character again, drop all their character, delete them. And I like had more fun like doing weird garbage like that, like messing around with the engine all I could, than actually really progressing very far. Probably because it was hard and I was bad.
Yeah, they were hard games, very unforgiving, very true to D&D rules, which are ones which I have never gotten into and never really understood very well.
I had a hard time. Back then they did like, I don't remember the exact name of the mechanic, but like spell slots. So you could cast a certain spell like a certain amount of times like per day. And stuff like that. So I would like, I'd have like a mage character and try to start a new playthrough and like immediately run through all my spells and be like, well, I guess I'll die. Like I didn't do a very good job of like, rationing these out through the fights.
Games were pretty unforgiving when we were kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
like
wow.
I didn't really manage to get into that style of RPG until Dragon Age.
Apparently it's still like that. So in Baldur's Gate 3 it works like that.
Really?
So that's I suspect that's not the easiest game to play if that's how the mechanic works. Because people are used to like mana, right? And you can regen it. And then honestly in a lot of modern games, your mana is like practically infinite anyways. So you just free cast all the time. And it's more like,
cooldowns
and using the right thing to counter the other thing that's going on, than trying to like ration things and save stuff.
Right, but I mean, there's certainly strong immersion arguments to be made for like, no, you actually can't cast that spell anymore because you're tired.
Yeah. So people are saying you have free slot cantrips, which can be cast infinitely. So your like major spells are the ones that are going to be a certain amount of times per day or whatever. Yeah, it's interesting. People are asking if we've ever played D&D. Have you?
I have played once.
Oh.
We did that one shot, and then that was it.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we did that with what did they rebrand to? So they used to be a Filthy
AFL
Lot.
Anymore? They rebranded from that?
No, yeah, it's not anymore. Their D&D show changed. I don't know. They've apparently had some struggles or something. Their old CEO isn't there anymore, but I don't think it was kind of like how our old CEO isn't here anymore. Like he's not there anymore.
Quest Keep?
That doesn't even sound right. I don't even know.
This one has an upload from 8 hours ago.
Okay.
It's active at the very least.
Oh, it used to be called Quest Line. There, it must be that.
Okay.
Anyway, I wish.
So we did the one shot there.
Yeah, we did a one shot there. That's the only time that I have ever played D&D. I meant to play the D&D football, or no, that's Warhammer. That's not D&D. Never mind. Yep, nope, that's the only time I ever played D&D.
Yeah. I played a bunch of D&D in like high school and a little dabbling after that, but mostly the most recent one that I've played and enjoyed a lot, actually significantly more than I enjoyed D&D, is called Edge of the Empire. It's very cool. It's like it's Star Wars inspired. You're like scoundrels and bandits and whatnot from the Outer Rim. And what I really like about it is when you roll dice, it's not just like a pass or fail system. You know how in D&D it's like, okay, roll the hit, you go against the other person's armor class, and then if it's higher, you get it.
Or you roll one and then you just suck.
Yeah, like something like that.
Yeah, or something.
In the Edge of the Empire one, there's like advantage and disadvantage. And the idea behind the whole system is like Han Solo doesn't miss. If he does miss, he's going to like miss the person but hit the control panel next to the door, and that'll like open or close the door. Like if you do things will happen. You have like narrative dice, which is very cool.
No, wait, I've heard of this before, but
Edge of the Empire?
Sorry, Edge of the
it's very likely I told you about it.
Was it like a book thing or something? What is this?
Star Wars Edge of the Empire?
Whoa, why is this? Oh, you know what? I wonder if they reused certain element. No, wait, what?
Is there like an EU book named the same thing or something?
I am so confused right now because I'm having a weird deja vu moment or something like that. Maybe I did like a choose your own adventure book, like as a child, like as a kid, and it had like something like that in it or something. Like you're ringing a bell that doesn't.
People are saying that happens in D&D too. I understand that, but in Edge of the Empire, it is a direct mechanic that is both GM and player controlled. Like the player has input on how these advantages and disadvantages go, which I think is super, super cool. It makes it very engaging, and it makes the combat and even social engagements really, really just gripping, I find. Because like if you're having like a social engagement in Edge of the Empire, it is combat rolls. You're literally rolling like combat dice throughout the conversation, and if you get like a ton of disadvantage, like maybe you say something weird and the other person doesn't like you anymore.
No, you're driving me
like
absolutely crazy right now. And you can do like, and if you try to force influence someone, you can like. Okay, no, hold on. Is Edge of the Empire the only thing that does this? Because I've never heard of Edge of the Empire before.
No, there's.
Are there other Star Wars like games that have dice rolling? Because
I'm pretty sure at the same time as Edge of the Empire, I think a few other ones came out.
Oh man, this is ringing.
How long ago
too many
is this thing that you?
I mean, I couldn't have been past. I don't even know if I was in high school yet. Like, and I feel like it might have been book based or something. Like you just play yourself or something.
Oh, interesting.
I actually don't know, but this is like bothering me a lot right now. Is this a thing?
Edge of the Empire is a lot newer than that, but it might be based off some mechanics from something that you did a long time ago.
People are like thinking of Knights of the Old Republic. I don't think so because I never played KOTOR.
Yeah, Star Wars D20. Someone said. Because that's this Knights of the Old Republic doesn't use standard dice. It uses their own custom dice, and I think it's super cool. You have advantage, disadvantage, triumph, despair, and like more like number-based dice, if I remember correctly.
This is bothering me so much.
Star Wars D20 Saga Edition. Star Wars D20 Saga.
Hold on. What is Star Wars? No, it's not D20 anything. I've never seen a D20 in my life before I was like an adult. I didn't know any D&D kids in high school.
What about Star Wars Saga Edition?
Star Wars, the role-playing game. This might be it. Wait, no, hold on. Stop it. No, not this. What is Star Wars, the role-playing game? It's a role-playing game set in the Star Wars universe, written and published between 1987 and 1999. This is definitely the right time. It was slightly modified and re-released as D6 Space, which used a generic space opera setting. Okay, what do you do? How does it work? Does this look familiar to me? I'm actually not sure. This was so long ago.
I know the one that I'm talking about is a Fantasy Flight Games tabletop game. I know that 100%. It's called Edge of the Empire. I'm 100% aware of that. We're trying to figure out which one Linus is talking about.
5 game books. Oh man, I don't even know.
Someone in Flowplane chat, I don't know how to say your name, sorry, KW Griff 2. So the last time they talked about D&D on Wednesday, Luke talked about this. I try to bring up Edge of the Empire like every time D&D comes up in conversation because I think it's just such a incredibly fantastic system, and I don't think a ton of people have been exposed to it, and it's really, really good. And I don't know. I think it's really fantastic. I think it's also very good for getting people that might not be so into the storytelling of tabletop role-playing games. Like if you play with someone and all they ever want to do is combat and just roll dice and have fun playing the RNG game, you're going to get them more out of their shells, including myself. I feel that way fairly often. You're going to get them more out of their shells by playing this type of game because you're like forcing creativity because you're going like, okay, you have a bunch of advantage on this roll, but you missed. And if you don't do anything, it's very likely that this guy's going to kill you next turn. So you need to use this advantage that you have to try to like create an escape for yourself or defeat this enemy in some indirect way, something like that. I just think that's super, super cool. It makes it for very dynamic, very interesting, very story driven, but like role heavy and high player engagement gameplay, which I think is just fantastic. Yeah, someone said it's fun. The players get to contribute a lot to the narrative. Exactly.
Okay, here's my problem though. I don't think I played with anyone.
Yeah, I don't fully understand.
I don't either. But I'm like sure that I did something at some point where I would try to force influence someone and I had to roll dice, and if I failed, it was bad.
Does Star Wars Saga Edition ring any bells?
I don't know. What is this? Star Wars Missions is a simple solitaire adventure game.
Solitaire adventure game?
Each mission is a 74-page book, start of a story, mission briefing, and the rest of the story. You have to choose character cards, specified number of weapons and ability cards. Will be required to use a weapon, a vehicle, and or ability to check against the skill. Oh, this might be it.
What is this called again? Sorry?
It's called Star Wars Missions.
Star Wars Missions. Does those look right?
I don't know. I just don't know.
It doesn't seem like people liked it. It's very lowly rated.
I mean, I was a kid, right? Like,
I mean, and it's Star Wars content. So
Yeah.
maybe it was just like interesting.
and I
enough.
was super into
Does this
super
tin-
into Star Wars.
Click on the second last image.
The tin doesn't look familiar.
No? Okay.
I don't know, but just because it doesn't look familiar, doesn't like my aunt was such a garage sale lady,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like I might have owned it with only like part
Half the
of
stuff or
something.
Yeah.
And, oh, you know what? No, it has. It definitely had multiple D6s. This is not a thing I had encountered as a small child. Then again, like I said, my aunt was a very garage saley lady. She may have just like gotten
Well, it
different
doesn't
dice.
have a
and-
D8. Well, or D12 or whatever that was. You're playing
Yeah.
with D6s, kid. You're just gonna have a harder campaign. It's advanced difficulty. It's a feature. It's not a bug. It's just what it is.
feel like that was a Scholastic Book Fair pickup. Yeah, that could be a thing. Anyway, okay, I don't want to talk about this too much more. This is like driving me very crazy now though, because like I have like these little snippets of memory from when I was like 8 or 9, 10 maybe. And it's like I definitely tried to like. I don't think you play as characters you recognize. I think you're like a nobody, and you like level up and stuff.
That's
or
exactly
something.
how Edge of the Empire works. Yeah, I feel like the designers must have been at least somewhat inspired by missions.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that.
But yeah, anyways, back to Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, hope you all are enjoying it.
Absolutely fantastic launch, breaking 11th highest concurrent player count on Steam in all of its history for a single player / co-op game is very cool. Like a lot of games that are going to hit that kind of player count is going to be like big, like not necessarily massively multiplayer in the way that MMOs are, but big like, competitive things like Apex, I heard was one of the ones that they didn't quite beat out. Other things like that where like tons of people can play. It's not story driven, yada, yada. Also, there's games like Apex that are ahead of it that are free to play. This is a purchased title. So big news. There's been a few games that have been coming out recently that like Final Fantasy 16, seeing the reception of that, and then now seeing the reception of Baldur's Gate. Like I had been in this state for a long time where I was like, wow, gaming's like dead, dude.
Yeah. But then
And-
it goes to show you, it's like cinema. All of a sudden, you put some movies people actually want to watch, like the Super Mario Brothers movie, Barbie,
yeah.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, the cinema's not dead. People want to go to the movies.
Released 600 Marvel movies in a row, and people got a little tired of it eventually.
Yeah. It did take a long time.
It did.
And honestly, I didn't even get tired of it until they started really sucking. Like some of those movies do not deserve even to have as good scores on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever as they do. The Eternals is garbage. It is just 4 hours of absolutely who cares. Like I just can't.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really happy to hear it because I had been doom and glooming gaming for a while now. And I mean, BattleBit coming out of like seemingly nowhere for me, at least. I know they were apparently in a playtest for a super long time, but I wasn't aware of that. Baldur's Gate 3 coming out and just killing it. I'm very hopeful for Starfield coming up soon. We'll see how that goes. There's just like, there's things going on. It feels okay, actually, for the kind of first time in a while, I think. But I don't know.